All right, Canadian Tire Motorsport, fun track. I think this is brand new for the Ray. Setup has been changed up quite a bit. This is high-speed corners on this track, some awkward corners on this track. Um, te Temperature is gonna play a bit of a role as well. Cold tires as well on this track are quite a bit slower than when your tires get hot. Iracing setup, uh, quite a few changes. Got the ride height lowered, brake bias. Not a lot of heavy braking here, but if you're locking them up, obviously increase that. Um, Spring rates soft as they can go, front and rear. Camber, if you know my channel, you know I like to fool around with the camber. Not necessary to the setup, but I think it does help a little bit. Toe-in is increased, and in the rear, toe-in's left the same. Ride height. So ride height is quite a bit higher on the rear than the front. That's to give the car some rotation because the ARB is 0. Um, if you find the car is rotating too much, you can uh, increase or decrease the ride height. That will get the back end a little bit more stable, but you'll have more understeer going on, which is not a good thing in this track. Compression in the rear is left the same, 13 liters. Probably should do the race. Actually, 12 might even do it, but I'm not sure. Gear stack tall. Um, you need the tall one for the big long straight in the back. Uh, I tried the standard. It feels nicer through the corners, but you need that tall for the back straight. Otherwise, you are going to get swamped. Um, Now, I did change the field of view here. Had some requests to make it a little closer. So let me know if this is good or if this is bad. As well, I cherry picked the session. Obviously, I did a few sessions with different tire temps or different track temps. Track is 21 for this. It's the best conditions I had. Um, in other sessions, it was 24-ish degrees. I was doing 126.6s. If you guys want to see um, a more medium track temperature rather than the best track conditions, let me know in the comments below too. I can switch that up. But for today, it is 21 degrees, so it is pretty grippy. So we're coming into turn one. Um, so fourth gear and a little bit of a lift coming in here. You got to turn in earlier than you think. Um, just feathering the throttle a little bit. You want to get onto these curbs. You can get on the inside portion of the track here, but I find it unsettles the car too much. I prefer sticking on the curb. It just sets you up better for the track here. There is a real good little dip here, and if you're really all four tires kind of inside here, it's really going to unsettle the car. But you do want to kind of get your right hand tire into that dip. It's going to help keep you tighter on exit, and full throttle here on exit. Just sort of feathering the throttle if you think you're coming in a little too hot. This is really important. This red and white curb is your max. Do not look at this pavement part here on the end. This is what you should consider your max exit. If you get a tire onto the cement, it's not a problem. However, if you even just touch this grass, you are going to get a visit from the tow truck, and it is the complete opposite end of the track from the pit, so it's going to be a long tow. So be very careful on the exit of this corner. Going to be a lot of people spinning out here, especially early in the week. And then just running it up full throttle. So coming up to the hill here, just a lift. Cold tires, you're probably going to want to dab the brakes. Hotter tracks, probably just a little dab of the brakes just to load up the front end. All these high speed corners, you do not want to be sliding sideways. If you're sliding sideways, you are going slow, and the time will, you watch your delta, it will add up pretty quick. So you want to keep fairly tight to this white line. You can see sort of the rubbered in portion of the track, so just try and follow that as best you can. Just coming out to mid-track and then getting the car turned in again to get in tight against this white line, and you want to get up right close to this grass. Obviously you don't want to get on it, and then just unwinding the wheel. You can certainly run the car out wider here, but I find it extends the track a bit. If you're sliding wide, you're going to use all of that track, but the Delta doesn't seem to like that so much. So in fourth gear, now you're looking for this repair patch on the road. You're going to be braking, or you can be looking for the change in the barrier here. You want to brake a little earlier, just after that barrier. Little dab of brakes, shifting down into third gear. Again, high speed corner, you don't want to run this out wide. If you're sliding wide, you're going slow. And then just kind of following this repair patch, and then just picking up the throttle. You don't want to stomp on it, you got to kind of feel your way out. Again, sliding sideways is not good, and it's easy to do, especially on cold tires here. Big difference between warm tires and cold tires. And then just unwinding the wheel and getting over towards the curbs on the left. So up into fourth, you kind of want to enter this at the middle of the Continental sign. Full throttle, again, cold tires, probably a little bit more of a lift here. I did even lift here on hot tires. You, again, don't want to slide wide. This is a tricky one as well. As you're coming in here, you can kind of get sucked into this curb, this very nasty curb, so don't get sucked into that curb. It is going to unsettle the car and cause you a whole bunch of problems. And then just sort of feathering the throttle. This section, you're coming through there pretty fast. So coming into this section, you're going to be braking, but if your car is sideways, if you came in too hot and your car is sideways and you're getting on the brakes, this is a pretty hard braking zone. Again, you're going to run into trouble. So make sure you've got the car under control. That's why I was lifting through that section, just to make sure the car is straight and lined up and steady for this. There's no great braking marker. It's basically when you're at the bottom of the hill, you're hard on the brakes down into second gear, and you really want to slow the car down at this point and then let it roll in. If you're on the brakes, you know, I'm lifting here, but if you're still hard on the brakes at this point, you are going to spin. So just letting the car roll in, even just a little touch of throttle there, just to keep that back end steady and keep the momentum going a bit. And you want to just unwind the wheel gently and head towards the curbs here, just to open up the next corner, because it is a real awkward one. Again, doesn't have to be said, do not go past these curbs. You get on the gravel over there, it's over. And then, yeah, just managing the throttle and the brake, picking up the throttle as early as possible, and it's a very awkward corner. But the trick is you have to get on that throttle before the apex. This is a long straight, and if you come in too hot and are on the throttle way too late, you're going to lose a lot of time in this straight. Use all of the track. You can even get onto the cement part. I know some cars that there's a real rut here that can really unsettle cars, but I haven't had too much trouble with the ride height with the Ray. No front wing to blow up, so if you're on this section, not really the end of the world. There's no X, but if you do hit the grass, obviously there is an X. So big passing zone here, big drafting zone. Just working up the gears, cover the inside, practice defensive lines. This is a big passing area. So for this one, I like just to get a little bit, just that left tire just on the edge of the grass here, just to open this up a little bit. Again, cold tires, you don't have to brake for this one, but you may just lift a little earlier. There's no real great. I'm always looking for this blue Marshall box. You can use these light posts as a turn-in marker. Yeah, just whatever works best for you. And then just feathering the throttle. Again, do not slide sideways through here. This is a big passing zone. If you are on the outside, you have to have some pretty good confidence the guy is not going to slide into you. Any of these corners passing on the outside is pretty dangerous. So between the curbs, the last set of curbs here, and the curbs up front here, in the middle, maybe closer towards the curbs coming up here, shifting down into third gear. Again, just managing the throttle. This no brakes here, and then keeping it tight to the curbs. Again, you don't want to be sliding wide, and then picking up the throttle. And again, you want to be with the car way over to the right to open this up, to try and keep as much speed as you can in third gear still. Again, no brakes, even cold tires. You don't really have to brake through this section. You can manage it with your gear shifts and throttle management. And then again, not wanting to run out too wide here. I mean, if you're battling, that's a different story, but for a fast lap, you don't want to come out wide here. You want to get far over to the left as possible to open up the next one. And then shifting down into second, you kind of got to feel it out around the advertising here. Just cold tires, you may want to dab the brakes here. I am dabbing the brakes here just a little bit, just to load up the front end a smidge. And shifting down into second, that's going to slow the car down for you for the most part. And then just picking up the throttle and running the car out wide, opening the wheel up. Little bit of a run to the finish line here, so it's possible you might be able to overtake through this straight, but the guy in front of you probably had to screw up in order to pass him. So 126.4, I think that should be a competitive time. There's no reference. I haven't seen this car on this track. And as I said, in the 24 degree, 25 degree tracks, I was doing 126.6s. So I think that should be competitive. So good luck out there. We'll see you on track. We'll see you next time.